let's get into the setup. This is a bit of a refresher, but it should be super straightforward. And I just want to signal a few things before we get too far into this. This is the workflow for doing the automation via LinkedIn. So we have to set up our account and review the requirements that or limits that we have. We're going to do some targeting. We're going to scrape or build some lists. We'll adjust or create some of the messaging that we're sending out to clusters or groups of targets that have something in common. We're running the automation, and that requires a little bit of setup for the immediate connection requests, the delay, the follow-ups, and the delay between each follow-up, and ultimately then the management of all of this information to make sure that we're not missing people or they're slipping through the cracks. That is, in a nutshell, what we're doing. So in terms of a requirement to run LinkedIn automation tools, you have to have a version of LinkedIn Premium. Now, the career version is the cheapest, and that's $29.99 a month USD. Business is $59.99. Sales Navigator $9.99. $99.99. Sales Navigator Advanced is more expensive. You guys can read, you get the idea. I have linked an article here that shows you exactly what you're capable of doing based off of which plan you get. And you can see that with free LinkedIn, you're limited to 100 connection requests for the entirety of that month, which obviously is quite low. So if you decide to sign up, which I'm encouraging you to do, I hate paying for stuff that I feel like should be free, but it is what it is. You can do a free trial sign up. You just hit plans. Then after the first month of billing, you basically get the first 30 days for free, which is awesome. You can either cancel within that 30 days or you can actually let the bill go through. And then once it goes through, you can say, oh, I want to cancel for the following month, in which case it will send you an offer to basically say, oh, well, we could discount the next 2 months or we could take 1 month off. It really depends on kind of a few different variables. But every time that I've done it, I get 2 months for free, which is super nice. So I know that a lot of people hate paying for this stuff, but it is what it is. Yes, if you sign up for a year, it's cheaper. I'm not necessarily recommending that. This is just what it is. This is how we have to play the game. I have mentioned LinkedIn limits. Again, if you open this sheet up, there's a number of guides in the second tab that will allow you to reduce your likelihood of being flagged or temporarily banned or permanently banned. We're just trying to keep things under 40 connections per day. It shouldn't be that hard to do. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. I've already covered this. So workflow mapping, steps and tools. There is always going to be a fully manual way of doing anything, and that's what most people are comfortable and familiar with. I'm asking you to consider getting out of that fully manual mindset in favor of a few things I'll show. But we understand how to find profiles. We understand how to view a profile, then send that connection request along with a personalized message. Super easy stuff. It starts to get a lot more interesting when you're doing these in bulk. And so some of the tools that I've outlined and will outline shortly allow you to collect all the profiles of a similar type and then generate templates that have variable merge fields and then run these sequences. Now, there's a manual plus tool way of doing this. There's a more advanced way where you're collecting lots of different profiles based off of either certain activities, certain actions, spark moments, and you're building your templates and then you're running these connections at scale consistently. And there's different tools that you can swap in for this. And a fully automated approach, which is going to be a lot more difficult, is something that would require a more advanced set of tutorials that I'm happy to show how to use N8N, but I don't think that's what everybody in this course is going to be willing to pick up and run with because, yeah, there's a barrier to entry of some of the technical understandings. So I have included one of many, many links that allow you to understand exactly how one would go about running a LinkedIn automation flow within N8N or other tools. You can always find additional tutorials by putting together the right types of searches. In this particular tutorial, it's using LinkedIn Navigator, which again is the more expensive one. So either way, you have to pay in order to play this game. That's just how it is, and I'm sorry to say. So I want to get into how we build lists really quickly, but I hope this was okay overview with at least understanding that you have to pay for a premium version of LinkedIn in order to run anything in an automated fashion.